Hi there and welcome back to my channel. If you haven't been here before, my name's Ali and I'm a mum of 4. We live by the sea in Wales. I share all sorts of videos on here, from day in the life videos to weekend vlogs to parenting, lifestyle, home, food, all things like that. So if you like the idea of that, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of my future videos. Today I'm going to be talking about chores. I think it's really important that children help you with chores around the house. I'm a big believer in the fact that the household chores are not just my responsibility, and I want to teach them practical life skills for the future. My husband, when we got married, his mother had done absolutely everything for him. He couldn't even use a washing machine. He still probably can't do like half the stuff that a normal person can do. And I just think you're totally failing in your job as a parent if you haven't taught your kids basic life skills. So that's what I want to help my kids to do. Obviously all chores are completely age appropriate. None of my kids are old enough yet to be doing the ironing, for example, but they can start off from a really young age just watching what you're doing. Like the baby will help me put the washing into the washing machine. He finds that really fun. And if I am cleaning now, he's 14 months, if you give him a cloth, he'll pretend to clean alongside me. And that's just the kind of like method of learning that I'm going with this. And I don't force them to do chores, but they are expected to take part in chores, and they are given an age appropriate chore each day. We have a little routine going at the moment where we're obviously homeschooling at the moment, and they have a little routine where we have lunch. They finish lunch at 12:30, and then they've got half an hour of chores, and they're given one chore each, so it shouldn't take them half an hour. And after they're done their time, they got an hour and a half of free time to do exactly what they want. So normally these chores will take about 10 minutes. So that's just an example of the small amount of time I'm expecting them to take to help out in the house. They're certainly not spending the whole day running around doing chores for me, don't worry. But yeah, so I thought I'd like run through some of my some of the chores that I give them most often. So the first and most obvious one is to help tidy up. Now if they've made a mess with their toys, then they have to help tidy it up. That's like a non-negotiable. And it's a really great lesson in the fact that they are learning that if they don't want to spend a long time tidying up, then they don't make so much mess. And they also very quickly learn that it makes sense to tidy up one thing before you get out another, and you're not left with a whole heap of mess to tidy up in one go. So every single one of them, from the baby up, is expected to help with tidying up. Obviously the baby, he loves actually putting things into boxes, so or throwing the balls back into the ball pit, so he takes part like that. But I make a thing of it. I say we're tidying up, and even though he doesn't properly understand, he will help out. But yeah, the others are also told to tidy up as well. Normally I do help them out because obviously kids, they never do anything properly. But my motto is sort of done is better than perfect, and I can always go back and do it over later, but if the majority of it's done, then happy days. So yeah, they are expected to tidy up. They're also, the older two are expected to put their clothes away. Now my eldest is 13 and my next oldest is 9. And my 9-year-old's only just been, basically as she turned 9, I then started giving her her clothes to put away. And the reason for that change at that age is because that's the age where she started dragging her clothes out and making a mess. And I really object to folding all her clothes neatly and putting them away only for her to trash them again afterwards. So if that's what she's going to do, then she can tidy up that herself. So both the girls put their own clothes away, so I do the washing and the folding and the piling them up and ironing if they need ironing, and then I just give them their little pile of clothes and they're expected to put them away nicely. In terms of laundry, they don't help me too much with the laundry, but if the weather is nice, then I will maybe ask them to peg a couple of bits on the line or to bring the washing in from the line while I'm cooking dinner. again, that's really like an easy task. They tend to do it together. It takes them a few minutes. I find it better if they bring it in than put it out, because they don't do the greatest job of putting it out, and then sometimes obviously it doesn't dry well. So I'll often ask them to bring it in, but most of the time I'll put it out. In terms of sort of other day-to-day tasks that need to be done every day, they help out with dinner insofar as they set the table for dinner. Quite often, I think most days, I would ask them to set the table for dinner. Now my 5-year-old will also help set the table, so I'll probably give them a job of, one of them will put the cutlery out, and then one of them is asked to put the cups out, and one of them is asked to fill the jug with water. So the 3 of them, 3 eldest ones, that's how they help with dinner. And then my eldest 2 will sometimes be asked to stack the dishes afterwards in the dishwasher. Again, this is one of those jobs that they do not perfectly, but again, it's sort of done, it's better than perfect, and I can go back and rearrange the dishwasher properly afterwards, but it just helps clear the majority of the mess away after dinner. In terms of cleaning, they don't do much. We're lucky enough that we have normally a cleaner every week, and so she comes once a week, and I do a big clean on a Monday when they're all at school. Normally they're all at school, so they don't tend to normally do too much cleaning. Every now and again, if they ask me for pocket money or something, I might ask them to do a job, and so these are the sort of cleaning jobs that I will tend to give them. And also at the moment, while we're homeschooling, because we're on the coronavirus lockdown, these are some of the chores that I give them to do in that half hour of chore time, because at the moment we don't have a cleaner. She's obviously not coming at the moment, everyone's in lockdown. So I will ask them to clean the skirting boards. This is a great one I normally give them if they ask for money. We've got 3 floors in our house, so I will divide it up and say you can do the skirting boards on one floor, and they go around with comfort spray. So I have a spray bottle with a bit of fabric conditioner in and water, and they spray that on a cloth and wipe it along the skirting boards just to dust them. And I use the comfort mixture because it makes the house smell really nice, and it also helps repel the dust. They actually really enjoy doing that job, and it's a really great one to give small children, because they don't mind getting down on the floor and it's not awkward for them, whereas for me, like, hurts my knees and it hurts my back. And they do that quite well because it's sort of one really easy focused task. So that's one of the cleaning jobs that I give them. Another one is to do the dusting. This is kind of a bit of a nonsense job. They don't tend to do a good job of this one, so it's one I'll give to my 5-year-old a lot. And I give him the duster, and he just runs it around where he can see, basically. Like I said, he doesn't do a proper job. It's not a replacement for me doing it, but it's sort of get him involved in doing a bit of a chore. The older 2, I will give the job of disinfecting high traffic areas. Now this is something I do every now and again, and I personally do it when one of our family's been sick. I wouldn't delegate this job to the kids if that was the case, if it was a post-sick clean. I've got a video about that, so I'll link it up here. That's something I do, but if they're looking for a chore and they're looking for a little bit of money to earn, or as I said, I'm just giving them a chore for the day, they will do this. So I give them the Dettol spray and a cloth, and they spray the Dettol spray on the cloth, and then I tell them to go and wipe down all the door handles, all the light switches, and the remote controls, and the banister. And that's quite an easy task for the 2 older girls who are 9 and 13. They can quite sensibly go off and do that, and it takes them, I don't know, a few minutes, about 10 minutes maybe, to just run over the house like that. And the last sort of cleaning type task I sometimes give them is to hoover. Now again, this is a job for the 2 eldest, and only because we've got quite a lightweight cordless hoover. So I might say to one of them, oh, go and hoover the front room, or go and hoover the carpets in their bedroom, or they might take the hoover upstairs to their own bedrooms and give their rugs a little hoover. But yeah, the cordless Dyson is really quite lightweight, so it's easy for them to do. I don't think it's a job I would make them do if it was a plug in the big hoover, even though my eldest could probably do that now, she's 13. They actually do quite a good job on hoovering, so it's okay for sort of those in between hoovering. I try to hoover every day, but it won't be like a full on hoover, so them doing that job on those days is good enough. And then the last couple of little chores I sometimes give them, one of them is to water the plants. Again, this is just the older two will do the plants inside. So just give them a jug of water and I say go around the house and water all the plants. They actually quite enjoy doing that one. And then the younger ones enjoy watering the plants in the garden with me, so we normally do that together. And I fill up my big watering can and I fill up the little watering can for my 5-year-old, and we go around the garden together watering the plants. And my 9-year-old also loves doing that with me as well, so that's a really nice sort of activity we do together. They're not really doing it for me, but they're helping out, and it's teaching them, you know, that we need to look after the plants. And the last job is to feed the pets. Now, we used to have a hamster, and the deal with having the hamster was that it was my eldest hamster and she would be responsible for cleaning out the hamster, feeding the hamster, all that kind of thing. So she would clean out her hamster and be responsible for feeding it. Like I said, she's 13, so she's been doing that probably since she was like 11, 12, cleaning it out herself. We used to do it with her. Once she hit sort of 12, 13, she was old enough to do it on her own. So she would take care of her hamster, and we've got other pets. We've got a fish, we've got a cat, and we've got a dog. And I do ask the kids to occasionally feed the cat and feed the dog. So normally I put their food into a bowl and I ask them to take the food upstairs for the cat, for example, or pop the dog's food bowl outside. It's really not a big chore for them. It's literally carrying a bowl and putting it down. But I feel like it sort of drills into them that the pets need to be looked after, and that you know, there's a responsibility there, and it's a job that has to be done every day. And if I get them involved in that, it helps them to learn that we have to take care of our animals and our pets. So that's all the sort of chores that I ask the kids to help with around the house. I think they're really age appropriate and they're not too onerous. They're certainly not my little slaves. They definitely live the life of Riley, but those are the two like little things I ask them to help me with. I'd love to hear what you do about chores. Like, I know some people give their children pocket money and then they have to do a few chores in exchange. Some parents just give them chores to do and it's not sort of money related. We obviously do a little bit of a mixture. They are expected just to do some, and others like will do extra if they want to earn a bit of money. Yeah, and so I'm just interested in how everyone else does it. So or other chores that you give your children that you think are worthwhile chores for them to learn. Do leave me a comment down below. My eldest is 13 now, so I'm really conscious that she could potentially move out in 3 years. Obviously, hopefully not, she'll stick around for a bit longer. But I feel like a big part of my responsibility now is to prepare her for that sort of next stage. Certainly when she's 18, she's going to be wanting to go to university, and I need her to, like, she needs to know how to do the washing. She's going to need to learn how to do some basic ironing. She definitely needs to learn to cook a few more meals. You know, I'm going to have to teach her how to clean the toilet, clean the sink, all kind of stuff like that. So I am going to step up her chores a little bit in that sense, but just to sort of prepare her for being able to live independently and successfully independently. Like I said, I've just got this like horrible feeling that she'll end up like my husband and just not have a clue. And then I went to university with some people who still sent their washing home, and that's madness. I think they have to learn to like be independent, and I want to help her to be independent, so I have to teach her how to do these things. So yeah, do leave me any comments below for any hints and tips to do with that, because I feel like we're moving into the next stage a little bit. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Do give me a thumbs up if you liked it, share it with your friends. I hope you're all doing okay in lockdown if you're watching this sort of as I publish it. It's a bit of a scary time at the moment with the coronavirus lockdown. I hope you're all doing okay. And yeah, you can also leave me a comment and let me know what sort of videos you want me to put up. It's a bit difficult at the moment because we're not going out so much, so I don't know. Racking my brains for ideas of stuff I want to share with you. So yeah, thanks for watching and I'll see you soon. Bye.